Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome to another One Chunk Wednesday. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building ourselves a little one chunk keep. That's right, we're building a keep that can be built in one chunk. Okay, so I'm trying to do this in a very specific way because so I'm not going to have any round towers in this one. I just don't think it'll be necessarily a good idea. Okay, so I'm going to need to put the hall somewhere. So why don't we put it? This is tough. And see, this is the tough part. Okay, so let's put it here. And this is the other thing you have to think about. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's a good distance for that. Okay. Oops. Though that's probably going to be a passageway. I'm kind of doing this freeform, but I know I need a few. There are like a few things that are absolutely needed. Okay, so this is kind of going to be like a stairwell tower, but it's also going to have something at the top. Need an entrance. We can put it here, I guess. And this will be like the hallway. And we can put that there. There we go. That should actually work and make a little bit of sense. Especially if we do that. As a way of signaling that these are two separate areas. Actually, you know what? You know what? Okay, so we're going to carry this here. Which, you know what, that's perfectly okay. Now we're going to be using the red sandstone to make some of this stuff. Now, these are kind of frame blocks. So every now and then I'm going to put something like, put one or two kind of going out. Or maybe not. I don't think I will do that. I don't think that's necessary. And we're going to be using birchwood for this, just because I think the look of birchwood is going to be a good idea. Or is going to work specifically. Okay, so this entryway, the way we're going to do this is, obviously, because we need these lovely doodads called arrow slits. And yeah, I know it's going to look a little peculiar, but I don't think it's too terrible. Well, I guess we can do it like this. Okay, so if we put it like this, this, okay. I know it'll look a little bit strange, but I just wanted to use granite for a build, and I think it works perfectly. Yeah, it does stick out, but I'm fine with that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I'm also making, all this stuff, all these towers square just because I want to do that for once. Now, it is missing a little bit of depth in some areas, but that's just because we don't have as much room as maybe I would like, and I want to make this usable as well. And that's kind of a key thread, is sometimes I'll sacrifice exterior aesthetics for functionality on the inside. It's another thing I want to make sure is that there's a way to get in here. And that also reminds me that we're going to need a section of this to be like a kitchen. Because that's something else you would need. That's actually a very good point, but I can't really make the hall any smaller. We can have this room serve a dual purpose. I don't think that'll be too big of an issue. There we go. And what I'm going to do is, anytime there are windows, at least on the first few levels, they're going to be iron bars. There we go. Now the entrance is going to be through here. Now I'm not going to put any of the doors in or anything like that. I don't think that's entirely necessary. Because I trust you guys can actually put those in yourself. Said, I will. Okay, so let's find the center line. There you go, let's make it there. That should be a good height for it. And there we go. There is our entrance to the Great Hall, which is also going to be, the dining hall. And the reason why we're using these framing blocks is because we do want to put the windows out there. And we want them to be an appropriate height. Okay, so if we bust out there, and there, there, and there, and there. Oops. There we go. I guess I won't put, I'll put the iron bars in, I guess. And the reason why I do this and plan like this instead of just starting to lay blocks and making a shape on the outside is, again, because functionality. If you're not building, if your building isn't, functional, or, you've got no space to make a room, why bother putting that in there? Now the Great Hall is going to have a lower roof than I would normally put on a Great Hall, but that is mainly because of how limited space we have. I don't have the space to put down as much as I would like. And that's part of the nice thing about truly limiting yourself for space, is you have to solve logistical problems you normally wouldn't. Which is, challenging yourself is always a good idea. And you should always seek to do that. For example, when I practice guitar, I oftentimes will play, something that isn't in the style of music I generally play. So I'll go out there and play some thrash metal or something, even though I typically would consider myself more of a blues guitarist. And it can add some, interest to what you're doing. So, for example, I built a plantation-style house, even though most of the time I'm kind of doing more medieval builds. Now, this kind of almost has like I'm trying to think of the right area that this vibe already is giving me. Now, one thing I want to do real quick is I want to get that elevated shooting platform up. Okay. I believe we put it on the 4th level. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Now, I'm also not going to, support this with beams and stuff. Not that it isn't necessary, but I just don't feel like doing it, and also it'll save me time by not doing it. There we go. And as you can see, I'm already starting to slightly run. If you're looking at the video length, yeah, I don't have as much time as maybe I prefer, but, again, limiting yourself is always nice. I'm trying to get these done in about 20 minutes max. So I'm not sure how many stories this is going to be. I think I'm only going to do one more because this is still a lot of room on the interior that you can use for extra rooms. You can, break it up even further. There we go. You can break it up further if you need to. And you can definitely add rooms or crazy contraptions on the interior. But what I'd probably do is put up a lot of and of course, you do these things like using the stairs in that location. Okay, so if we're putting the roof, now that doesn't work so much as if we did it like this, though. I think it could work. Oh yeah. And of course, we're just doing some stuff like this to create that little bit of depth that we can. Because every little bit of depth you can build helps. There we go. And the reason why I chose granite is just because I actually like it as a building block. I know there are a lot of people who think it's absolutely garbage, but, you know, those people are wrong. Not really, of course. You know, you're entitled to your opinions. But you have to remember, there are people who actually like granite as a building block. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on this block. There we go. And then I'm not entirely sure where I should bust through. But here's another pro tip, is if you do use beams, which I highly recommend doing, you can get away with separating rooms like this on the inside. And I'll just put the doorway here. Now I'm also going to make the roofs just a tiny bit higher on the next floor because I want to. Or not the rooms, but I'm going to make the ceiling on this floor a little bit higher just because it'll work out a little bit better for what I intend to do. And I won't bother with you know, putting matriculations or anything like that in, just because I don't think it'll be the absolute best. Okay, so I want to get rid of that one for sure and that one. And I think that's all the windows we're going to do on this level. So we're really just going to, be doing the crenellations. So we're not going to have those little ports that you can shoot straight down with. Not that I wouldn't want to, I just don't think it's going to be entirely necessary. And, you know, I'm also not going to worry too much about actually we'll do it like this. Again, just adding that tiny little extra bit, and it looks okay. You know, if I had a little bit more time and also more space, I'd work it out a lot better. But I think it works. And again, like I said, I'm not going to put in the doors. Not really worth it. I'm going to do this. We are going to do this. We are going to do this. And you guys can determine like which room's which and all that. Not really my place to tell you. And also, you know, I don't know which room would be which. At this level, we would put a ladder in. So we're going to grab one of those. There we go. this is actually the level we're going to be building this on. That way, it's all flat up here. So we're going to need to do this. And don't worry guys, I'm going to, use the framing blocks here too. I just want to do it as quickly as possible. There we go. And now we go around with the framing blocks. And I'm also going to continue. And this is where kind of the sandstone takes a little bit of use. Or not, wow, a little bit of use. That makes complete sense. This is where we're going to have to be, why the sandstone was chosen is because we get a little bit of extra color wherever it is. So it's not just one monochromatic build. And I'll show you guys the other one real quick. This will be a little bit longer of an episode, but I think it'll be nice to see two different styles of one chunk keep. This one is almost like a fortress, to be quite honest with you. Okay, there we go. There we go. So now, we're going to go here, here. Bring those up. And these, I know for a fact, need to be 2 above the pattern. So, or above the floor. So we cap those with that. And then what we do is we do this on everything in between. And I think we're going to do, oops, these at this level. This one is the weird one just because it's a little, because even numbers are very difficult to do. This section is a little off, but it's not that problematic. And then we're going to do this, this, this. There we go. There we go. And this is the type of thing you would probably build like a catapult on. Because, I mean, there's definitely room to do it. So in many ways you could argue that this is almost like more of a chateau or something. But it definitely works, in my opinion. You go in here, got the Great Hall. You've got this little defensive area. And you walk over and up these stairs, and there would be a trapdoor here to act as a railing. Oops. That was not the way it was supposed to be. And you've got, the defensive area. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you had a nice day, and see you next time. Take it easy. Bye.